I am Master Life Coach Mechelle Canady, Chief Curator for Embrace You Training Solutions. Thank you again for joining another segment of Come, Sit Down, and Let's Talk. I have someone who is near and dear to my heart, who is very special to me that I have asked to come be on this segment, and it is none other than Mr. Keep Her Together himself, my husband Cedric. Hey, honey.
My gosh. Hey, Michelle, how are you?
I'm doing good.
All right.
Oftentimes people be like, okay, Miss Get You Together. So who keep Miss Get You Together together? Him!
When I can, yeah.
He does a good job of it. That's why his shirt said Mr. Keep Her Together. So, Mr. Cedric, would you introduce yourself to the audience?
Yeah, my name is Cedric Canady. I'm married to this lovely woman right here, Michelle. The father of three children. We have a match of three and three. That was something that just happened. I was like, I was surprised about it, but like I said, I'm a father of three plus three. It's just almost like a Brady Bunch type of thing. But other than that, it's a challenge. But hey, God gave it. That's what God gave us, and we just kind of, I enjoy every bit of it. Like I said, it's a challenge, but yet it's still, hey, that's what the Lord has blessed us with. Sometimes the challenges that the Lord gives us kind of test our own faith, and it puts us in a place sometimes that we don't know why we're in that place, but yet still there's a purpose behind it. So that's what that's how you know that's how I look at it. We can't always you know put ourselves in the perfect position and perfect this and perfect that or whatever, but yet still that's what the Lord gives us because He knows that, hey, what kind of strength you have,
Mm-hmm.
what you can and can't do. He knows what you're gonna deal with, how you're gonna react to it, and that situation, that's a situation in which, he it's almost like pastoring a church or being a minister or anything like that. He's not gonna put a whole lot on you and allow you to explode in that situation.
Right.
So that's pretty much me. I just do things as I go along, and pray that the Lord, blesses as as I go.
You're so wise, and I appreciate you. So, as he said, we have a total of 6 children. He has three, I have three. He has 2 boys and 1 girl. I have 2 boys and 1 girl. His 1 girl name is Victoria. My 1 girl name is Victoria. So, yeah, it's been an amazing journey. We've been married now, what, 5 years,
Yeah,
going on 6 years.
yeah.
And being blended as a family, yeah, we are like that real life Brady Bunch where we do have six children total. Even with our grandchildren,
Yeah.
he has 3 grandchildren. I have 3 grandchildren. He has 2 girls and a boy. I have 2 girls and a boy. So it's like we were like that match.
Almost, yeah. Yeah.
Perfect. So we
Yeah.
kind of equal it and balance each other out. So in as we were both coming from out of long-term marriages and becoming one whole family, it has had its challenges as well as it has been an amazing journey as well as an opportunity for us to do some things differently before our children with blended families. So what do you think is the biggest challenge that we've had with having, well, first let me say all of our children are adults.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they're all adults and they range from the age of what, 33 to
Yeah. To
20,
24,
24,
25.
20, yeah,
Yeah.
24.
Yeah. Julian. Julian will be uh 25.
And then
Yeah.
Victoria's
Yeah.
24.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Right.
so 33 to 24 is the age of our children.
I know Victoria. Well, yeah. 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 That's right. You're Victoria. So, yeah.
Yes.
That's the thing about
We
saying
have
the two
two
Victorias.
Victorias.
We have to say either Victoria 1 or Victoria 2 to try to get to make sure that we keep those two uh,
So we
separated.
know who we're
So
talking about.
right,
And the thing
right.
is even though they're both Victorious, they're
Mm-hmm.
so different. I
Uh-huh.
think Victoria, number one, who is his Victoria, and my middle son AJ are like the pair because
Yeah.
they're so much alike. They're into music
Right.
and they have a lot in common. But
Mm-hmm.
so, what do you think would be the biggest challenge that we've had?
To tell the truth, it hadn't been a big challenge.
Yeah.
It's just the fact that because all the kids get along. That's one thing I can elaborate. The fact that they all get along.
Mm-hmm.
There hadn't been any kind of animosity between one or the other, or saying that that any snide words between each other
Mm-hmm.
or anything like that. So I'm like I've seen other couples have to deal with that kind of stuff, and I know that's been a tremendous blessing. Um, Having to looking at the way they were raised as far as AJ being in gospel, being heavily in the gospel, little Cedric being a minister. Victoria one and two singing
Yeah.
gospel. Julian Julian is the kid that is quiet, but at the same time, I guess he's boisterous depending on what he's doing or whatever.
Right.
You don't know. Sometimes he may be there, but yet still, it's like when he does talk, and he's different. But hey, that's big part of me of
And
how
I
I do things.
and
So
I think like the matchup would be Chris and Julian
yeah.
because they're real um different.
Mm-hmm.
They're they okay with being by themselves.
Yeah. Yeah.
They can
Yeah.
be in the room and you not know they're in the room. But they bring a whole lot still yet to the
Yeah.
conversation.
Yeah. You know.
Yeah, I don't think I've had any hard challenges either. Like we've not had like fallouts or arguments or things like that where
No,
we've
no,
been.
there been no big family conflicts or
Yeah, no.
anything like that. And like I said, that's a tremendous blessing because sometimes you've seen a situation where you know kids tend to look at each other like, hey, no, that's my sister or that's my brother or whatever. These kids they kind of knew each other from a long while back,
Yeah.
and yet still it is kind of like, hey, everything just kind of flowed along. So okay,
Mm-hmm.
now we family now.
Yeah.
Instead of just saying, "Oh, hey, I know y'all and y'all were good and all that kind of stuff," and now we just family.
Yeah.
So everything for us blended families, concerned whatever, and that's something I prayed about. That's one thing that I always I wanted to make sure that that God kept us as peaceful as a family
Yes.
because there's one thing that will keep you up at night, one thing that will definitely mess with even the couples themselves is having kids, having the two sets of kids back and forth at each
Yes,
other, because that
that's
would
true.
also start to mess with the couple itself.
Yeah.
But as a praying and knowing that the Lord is keeping our kids safe, keeping our kids in a good relationship with each other has been one thing that's just kept the relationship going on our side and their side and
Yeah.
made it easier on us.
It has, and they treat each other like siblings.
Yeah,
Like
they do.
when even if they're not amongst us, if they see each other, they'll greet each other. They refer to each other as sisters and brothers.
Mm-hmm.
And I think a lot of that also attests to the way that our relationship is and how we've taken the time to establish boundaries and
Mm-hmm.
what that relationship is going to look like between us as
Mm-hmm.
well as between them. It's
Mm-hmm.
never my kids, your
Right.
kids. It's
Exactly. Yeah.
never. And we believe in doing for them all. Like a
Mm-hmm.
birthday come, we do for them all.
Right.
Christmas come, we do for them all. So it's never where one set of kids get something that's greater than the other set of kids
Right.
either.
Mm-hmm.
And one of the things we've also did is opened up the lines of communication where they feel comfortable talking to either parent when it comes to them having problems and them needing advice.
Right. Mm-hmm.
having them be able to come to either parent. And it's funny because we always joke about Victoria number one. She'll call me and she'll want to talk to the coach, but then Victoria number two will call him because she think he her fixer. So any little thing that it is, he gonna make sure he fix it. I even to put on a band-aid.
Yeah. It's just you have to. Me myself, I was like, hey, you talk to the kids. You try. I told my kids, and I told her, kids too, that hey, listen, I'd rather you talk to us about what's going on, the situation
Yeah.
in life,
Yeah.
than not talk to us and everything be a surprise. I guess together we can talk about it, and the Lord will bless. Pray to the Lord, He will bless us with a situation, and that's the most important thing of keeping that communication open to them, letting them know that hey, you can come and talk to us
Yes.
about what's going on.
Yes.
You know, we're all adults. We're not gonna blow up and all this other kind of stuff. Believe me, I've had that situation. Or I have dealt with that in the past, and you learn from your past experience, so you know how to handle things better in the future.
Yeah.
So that's why I try to keep that kind of live openness with them. Like
Yes.
I've told them that in the past, and I'll tell them the same thing now. Come and talk to us and tell us what's going on with with your situation, and we'll pray and work it out and rectify it from there.
Yeah, and I do know that prayer has been an essential tool in our relationship and our relationship with our kids because as parents of adult children, our roles change, and sometimes you have a hard time adjusting to what your new role is because where you've been the one to give the command, now we don't give commands, we give guidance. And
Mm-hmm.
sometimes people have a problem shifting from that
Right.
because one, it's not our lives to live.
Right.
Once they become adults, you've done everything that is required
Right.
of you to do, and so now it's up to them to live their lives. So shifting from being the one to give an instruction to being the one to give guidance has really been key in our relationship.
Yeah.
So we get a lot of questions often about being married and being our relationship, and people look up to our relationship because we've been a true redemptive story. We both come from past long-term marriages. I was married 19 years. You were married 20 years. And now building a new marriage, especially in our midlife,
Yeah.
kind of starting things over, but understanding that we have made some mistakes in the past and none of what we can do will change any of that,
Yeah.
what we have already done. But I can say that it has been a pleasure just being married because you're so dope. Like, I like you.
I like you too. I used to tell her a long time ago when we were dating or whatever, and I was like, I said, "Are you really like this? Is this you? This ain't something you kind of putting on the face right now. It's gonna change or whatever." So she's been consistent. Through her life and everything.
Yes.
And so that's one thing that kind of holds us together. The fact that hey, we have to we have to lean on each other.
Yes.
I lean on her a lot because I've learned a lot from her as far as being able to to communicate better in different ways. We've had things that have happened to us in the past or whatever, but I've had to kind of go back in my life and just kind of like say, okay, listen, you can't handle that this way again. You're gonna have to handle it this way.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like I've learned that that like I said that you I have to do things differently.
Yes.
Um, and I have to look toward the Lord, and the Lord talks to me and guides me through different situations. Um, and that's pretty much the way I love her. Um, she keeps her little sweet ways. And I really don't see myself, loving or being with anybody else for the rest of my life but her. It's a situation in which you can't just say so I guess some guys are like, hey, you gonna stick with her for this long or that long or whatever. I say I'm not looking at 20 years down the road.
Mm-hmm.
I look at what I have now, how God's gonna bless us now, how God is guiding our lives and our past now, and we go from there. We still joke around with each other.
Yes.
We I can relax with her. We laugh together. We joke about each other. We sing with each other. We rap with each other. We do and it's like we still consider each other. It's like friends. We're
Yes.
married, but at the same time we're like best friends married
Yes.
to each other. And it's like we can have fun. Like we have fun together. We make little videos. Sometimes we post on Facebook, whatever. But other than that, she's a delight and to be around. Like I said, we all have our differences sometimes, or
Mm-hmm.
we all have our things that we like to do differently, whatever. But yet and still, we learn that about each other because because we are different. But yet and still, our concept and our thing is us building a relationship and being together and building it and being not letting one thing weigh us down to the point that
Yes.
you want to. Oh, I'm not compromising on this. I'm not giving on this. And like, hey, no, you don't do that. You have to be able to weigh. You have to be able to look at things and say, hey, listen, yeah, she likes that. I like this. Hey, we going around our lives.
Yes.
She likes cherry vanilla ice cream. I like fudge vanilla ice cream. Oh, so
We just buy two
yeah, about
containers,
two
and you eat
containers.
what you like, and I eat what I like.
Yeah,
So yes.
yeah.
So how is it being married to Miss Get You Together? What's your thoughts about it?
Well, I saw like this. At first, I didn't. Looking at how things were going, or whatever, I was like, well, hey, that's just little stuff she's doing. But I see how the impact of you touching these people, different people's lives, how you're letting God, lead you and doing the different things. Um, is towards good towards you're gonna be you in the first place. But like I said, the passion that I see that you give toward other people,
Mm-hmm.
that that how people cling to you, and how like you said, as far as getting people together, everything is done in a love and a spiritual manner. So it's not like an attitude thing. It's not like something you would see on Housewives or wherever. It ain't nothing like that. But it's a situation in which you're helping people, and as long when I see that, then that says okay, what she's doing is meaningful to her, is meaningful to a lot of people, so it's meaningful to us and our family. And I'll do what I need to do to help support it. Yeah, you know, having a little snap is part of you. So that's but other than that, that's all good.
But no, I don't miss Get You Together him, because Mr. Get You Together don't go for that. Yeah, and I always aim to make a conscious decision to when I come home, that I'm wife. You know, I'm not coach. I'm not Miss Get You Together. Um, I'm wife. Like I'm domesticated. Like I clean, I cook, I do all the wife stuff. And that's part of what keeps me grounded, is that I don't care how great I am in them streets. When I come home, Mister looking for his groceries. Like, what we eat tonight? What was you doing all day today? Especially working from home, it really takes an intentional effort to say, okay, stepping away from that to being who I need to be for him. One of the things that we have also discovered is that you don't have to be equal. You just have to be balanced. Because there are some days that I've given out so much that I may not be able to bring 50% to the table. But then there are some times because he works a very demanding schedule that, he may not be able to give but 10%, and then you jump in and you do the 90 to make it balanced so that there is nothing that's going lacking or nothing that's unequal. So having that balance in life is very vital, is very important, especially when you have to wear hats for different roles, being supervisor, being manager, being, teacher, being preacher, being business owner, being all those things, and not having balance can be detrimental to a marriage. Like, I know we've watched marriages of people in past just fall apart because there is no balance. And so being intentional about how you balance things out. I know I appreciate the fact that he deals with all the stuff that I do. Um, I tell people oftentimes I'm challenging to myself, so I know I'm challenging to him. But I'm thankful that he loves me enough to allow me to just be me. And that was one of the
Yeah.
things that he told me from the very beginning. I
Hmm.
don't want you to change who you are.
Hmm.
And that was very vital because oftentimes we get in relationships and people want you to change to be who they want you to be and not who you are meant to be. So me just being able to be me has been a breath of fresh air, and it has allowed me to be open and creative.
Hmm.
And I appreciate that.
Well, that's what, like I said, that's what I want you to be because I didn't want to change after a while,
Hmm.
because what I'm, how I met you, the things you did for me, the smile on your face, the way you treated me, stuff like that. I try my best to do what I need to do to try to keep that, to keep that going.
Hmm.
Like I said, we don't, the thing of just kind of like being snappy all the time, or
Oh
just,
no.
I don't, I don't like that kind of stuff. I've never been that kind. Everything doesn't have to be my way, or everything doesn't
Hmm.
have to be her way, or whatever. But like I said, there's the thing of us being able to talk to each other, communicate with each other, laugh and talk with each other, and learning how to handle each other's attitude or situations, or if you had a bad day, or if I had a bad day, or knowing how to say, listen, this and this happened. Just the kind of talking to you, taking in each other and talking to each other instead of just instead of just bringing all the bad stuff,
Yeah.
in and using that bringing that attitude from the house to, I mean, from your work to your
Yes.
house,
Yes.
just makes things worse. So it's, when you have a spouse who when a good spouse that you're coming home to, it makes it a whole lot better to come home.
It does. And that's some of the stuff that we said that we wanted to do to make sure that we created a safe haven at our house for each other, that we would want to come home to each other. And working from home has been a joy to me because I just love being in my house. Thank you, honey, for my house. So, this has been another segment of come, let's sit down and talk with Coach Mechelle Canady, aka as Miss Get You Together. So now you all have had an opportunity to learn who keep me together with Mr. Get You Together. Yes, absolutely. So thank you again for watching the show, and we'll see you next week. Thank you. Have a good day.